All right, let's dive in. Today we're headed to London, Soho to be exact.
Oh, Soho.
It's known for, well, a lot of things. The energy, the mix of entertainment, the food scene, and then there's the nightlife.
Yeah, quite a reputation.
Maybe even a little bit of, the unexpected.
Definitely.
And the perfect guide for our deep dive today is this newsletter. What are the best things to do in Soho?
Sounds like fun.
Let's see what we can find.
Okay, well, right away, what jumps out is just how many different sides to Soho there are. The article talks about it being this live entertainment hub.
Oh, like the West End, those big theaters.
Exactly, but then also you've got these like legendary blues places
Mhm.
tucked away in little side streets.
Oh, wow. I love that.
It's that mix, the really polished stuff and then that gritty, almost underground feel. Makes it unique.
Okay, so I'm already hooked. We're not just talking about a night out, are we? This sounds like a whole day kind of place.
Oh, yeah, easily. Just soaking up the atmosphere. You can picture it. Start with a walk through Soho Square.
Okay, I'm with you.
Grab a coffee, maybe, and then you wander into this bookstore. Foyle's Soho.
Ooh, a bookstore. I'm in.
It's like a book lover's dream. Huge. Kind of a maze.
Did you say a maze?
Yeah, you could spend hours there and not see everything.
I'm telling you, bookstores are my weakness. Foyles is going straight on my list.
Yeah.
What are the chances of finding something really rare there?
That's the fun part. You just never know. Could be a first edition of some classic novel. Or, hey, maybe a signed copy of your favorite author's latest.
Okay, now you're just teasing me.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got books, but then the newsletter also mentions this casino, Genting Casino Soho.
Yeah.
And it sounds kind of fancy.
Definitely a step up from your average casino.
So what's the vibe like? Is it more James Bond or is it more like laid back?
I'd say it's leaning towards James Bond for sure.
Uh-huh.
Think sleek, high stakes, a touch of that exclusive feel
Got it.
for people who want a little bit of luxury with their thrills.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so we've got bookstores, we've got casinos. I'm sensing a pattern here. Lots of variety. What about food?
Oh, tons of options. But the newsletter specifically calls out Dean Street Townhouse.
Okay, tell me more.
It's very much that classic meets modern vibe that Soho does so well. The food is traditional British, so Sunday roasts, afternoon tea, that sort of thing.
I can almost taste it.
But it's all served in this really stylish, updated setting.
Perfect. So you get the best of both worlds. All right. I am getting serious London vibes right now. This is great. Oh, but wait. There's also this blues place mentioned. Ain't nothing but.
Oh, yeah?
So it's not all fancy casinos and high tea then, is it?
No, definitely not.
There's a grittier side to Soho, too.
For sure, yeah. Ain't Nothing But is, well, it's an institution. A real Soho legend.
I love that. A true blues club. So we're talking, what, incredible live music.
Oh, absolutely. And just, the history in that place. You can feel it.
Yeah, man.
That authentic blues energy. It's raw,
I love that we keep seeing these contrasts in Soho.
Yeah.
One minute it's sophisticated, the next it's like stepping back in time.
Exactly. And that artistic vibe, it's not just the music either. The newsletter mentions this duo, Gilly and Mark.
Right, the artists.
They do these amazing sculptures, really striking, all about promoting equality and protecting wildlife.
Oh, wow. I'd love to see those.
You could just be walking down the street and bam, there's one of their pieces. Makes you think.
It's like Soho's a giant living art gallery, something new around every corner. Speaking of new things, there's also this visitor's guide to royal palaces, castles, and residences in the UK. Okay, maybe a royal shopping spree is out of the question,
Yeah.
but, those palaces are tempting, all that history.
It's true, though. Soho is in such a prime spot for exploring all that.
Right. You can spend a day just hopping between palaces.
Totally.
This is making me want to book a trip, like right now. But okay, back to Soho. And back to reality, maybe? Because the newsletter also mentions something pretty important. London's best ice cream, 10 must-try spots.
8, you can't explore on an empty stomach, right? Or a craving for ice cream.
Exactly. And what's better than ice cream on a nice day?
Nothing. It's the perfect treat.
Yeah.
Speaking of exploring, though, we were talking about Carnaby Street before.
Oh, yeah. Carnaby Street.
It's another spot you absolutely have to see in Soho.
I'm picturing it as this, vibrant mix of shops and places to eat. What's the history like there?
Oh, it's got a fascinating past. Carnaby Street was huge in the 60s. Fashion, counterculture, all of that. It was the center of the mod scene.
The mod scene. So, mini skirts and bold colors.
Exactly. A real sense of rebellion, too. Now it's more of a mix, independent boutiques, bigger brand stores, trendy restaurants.
It's like history meets modern day.
That's a great way to put it. So even within Soho, you have these smaller areas, each one with its own vibe.
It's like a city within a city.
Yeah.
So cool. What I'm curious about, though, is this mention of Croydon.
Croydon.
Yeah, it's in the newsletter, too. And Croydon isn't exactly, the typical tourist spot. What's the deal with that?
That's what I like about this newsletter, actually. It gets you thinking outside the box, beyond those usual tourist traps.
ICC.
Croydon is one of those places that's often overlooked, but it's changing, becoming a real cultural hub. Art galleries, theaters, music venues.
Sounds promising.
And because it's not as well known, it's usually a bit easier on the wallet. Food, accommodation, all of that.
So it's like a hidden gem,
Hmm.
and I'm guessing it's pretty easy to get to from central London.
Oh yeah, great transport links. So you could easily do a few days in Soho, all that bustle, and then hop on a train to Croydon for a different pace.
I love that idea. It's like we're piecing together a whole London map. Soho's the starting point, all bright lights and energy, and then Croydon's this, off the beaten path adventure waiting to happen. But you know what? I just realized something. With all this exploring we've been doing, we haven't even covered everything in the newsletter.
That's the best part. Deep dives like this, they spark so much curiosity. We're just scratching the surface here. There's tons more to discover in both Soho and Croydon.
Oh, definitely. And we can't forget those 10 must-try ice cream places.
Absolutely not. So before we wrap up completely, what are the big takeaways for our listeners? What stands out to you about Soho and Croydon? What really hits home for me is that Soho is like a mini London. It's got it all. The history, the culture, even those cutting-edge trends, all crammed into this one little area.
It's like a little world of its own.
It really is. And it's impossible to put Soho in a box,
Yeah.
because you've got those Michelin star restaurants, but then you've also got those little hole-in-the-wall pubs, you've got the grand theaters, and then right next door, it's an underground music scene.
It's all about choices, isn't it?
Exactly. And the best part is that it's all walkable. You can experience it all without, hopping on the tube or anything.
So you're saying it's the perfect place to just wander and see where you end up.
Exactly. No matter what you're into, whether it's history, food, shopping, or just, soaking up the energy, Soho's got you covered.
I love that. What about Croydon, though? What's the main thing our listeners should take away from that?
I think Croydon reminds us that there's always more to discover. Even in a city like London, there are these hidden gems waiting to be found, places that aren't on the typical tourist trail.
Makes you want to go exploring, doesn't it?
It really does. And the fact that it's so easy to get to from central London makes it even better.
So it's like you can have that classic London experience in Soho, but then easily add on this, bonus adventure to Croydon.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a 2-for-1 deal.
I love it. It's amazing how one little newsletter article can open up so many possibilities.
It really is the beauty of a deep dive, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've gone way beyond just listing attractions. We've really gotten into the heart of what makes Soho and Croydon so unique.
Absolutely. We've explored those contrasts, the history, the hidden gems. Oh, and those must-try ice cream spots, of course.
Can't forget those.
But honestly, this is only the beginning, right? We've just scratched the surface.
That's the best part. There's so much more to discover out there. It's an ongoing adventure, really.
So to everyone listening, we encourage you to take what we've talked about today and use it as a springboard. Start your own adventure.
Yeah, go get lost in those amazing aisles at Foyle's. See if you can win big at Genting Casino. Maybe catch a live blues show at Ain't Nothing But. Keep an eye out for those sculptures by Gilly and Mark. And, of course, don't forget to treat yourself to some of that incredible London ice cream.
Yes, and if you're feeling adventurous, hop on a train to Croydon. You might be surprised by what you find.
It's all about pushing those boundaries and seeing where you end up.
Well said. So, as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with one last thought. What hidden gems will you uncover on your own London adventures? Until next time, happy exploring.